Hey everybody, so Don and I were just having a conversation about wearing veils in mass, and I applaud those young women, especially I see teens in 20s and early 30s dressing up nice for church and wearing pretty veils and stuff. That's how it should be, ladies. I mean, I don't know when you guys stop doing that, but you're supposed to be like the Blessed Virgin, and even the Bible says that women should cover their heads, especially when they're praying and during Mass. So, some of you women are like, oh, I'll never wear it. I can't do that. I don't take myself seriously. It doesn't feel right. It was kind of expected of you by God. So I don't know why you stopped doing it. Jesus never abolished that. Um, but anyway, for you women who wear the pretty veils and stuff at Mass, and it is catching on, more and more people are starting to wear them. Thank you. Thank you for thank you for having dignity and integrity. Thank you for being modest and conservative, moral, ethical, respectful towards God and His rules, and towards us men. I gotta tell you, and maybe a lot of guys won't admit this, but a true guy, a true man, a good man would always respect a woman. Well, put it this way. I'm going to give you a little secret about guys, okay? Because I am one, so I can tell you. When we're younger and we're not godly and we're not ready to settle down, we're always going to go for the girls who are, showing their privates and, bikinis and beautiful blonde and all that stuff. But when it comes time to find a wife, okay, most of us are not going to go for that kind of woman. We're going to go for a conservative. How you doing, Annette? We're going to go for a conservative, moral, ethical woman who's not going to be drawing a lot of attention to herself because we want to be able to trust them. Now, if you marry a woman who's already has no dignity, no self-worth, who wants to show the whole world what she's got, does nothing but act like a prostitute, a whore, tacky, always wants attention from men. That's not marriage material. That's not wife or mother material. So you're going to be a, terrible marriage if you marry someone like that. I know there's that song, which is if you want to be happy for the rest of your life, never make a pretty woman your wife. I'm not saying you have to marry an ugly wife, but I am saying you should go for a woman who's God-fearing and loving first, who covers her cleavage, who doesn't mind being classy and modest, who doesn't have to go and show the world everything she's got. Because, if you're out there young and stupid and dating, I guess that's one thing. But no Christian woman should be behaving that way. And no woman who wants to attract a decent husband. Because if you do that, if you start selling yourself short and showing everybody your cleavage and putting all this, makeup on and, all that stuff to please men, well, you're only going to attract the wrong kind of man. A real man is going to like you for your raw beauty, and they're not going to want other guys seeing their girl's stuff everywhere, okay? We're going to want you covered up. That's for us. If I'm going to marry a girl, I don't want anybody seeing her naked. I don't want her, guys looking. I don't want to have to fight off guys every time I go somewhere with my girlfriend or my wife. I don't want that kind of negative attention. It's not worth it. And I've had a lot of girlfriends like that, and all it did was end up getting me in bar fights with people for no reason. And the girl's sitting there, she's with me on my shoulder, but every time I turn around, she's like twisting her hair and flirting with the guy next to me. And it's just like, why do you do that? And then she ended up leaving me for someone else. And it's just like, that's not right. So I would never make a woman like that my wife. If I can't trust you before I marry you, and you do that kind of stuff, I can't trust you in a marriage. I can't trust you to be a faithful wife till the day we die without a divorce. I can't trust you to never divorce or to raise my kids right. I can't trust you with my kids. So, guys, don't go for women like that. Go for and encourage our women of today and your daughters to be conservative, to be to cover up, to wear veils in church, to have class and dignity, to have self-respect, decency, morality, ethics, a sense of worth, dignity. Don't teach them this to be Playboy models and show off. I don't care how pretty they are. They don't need to do that, And I don't know what happened or what generation where women went from being modest and classy and conservative to all of a sudden not caring at all and practically being naked all the time and feeling that they need to be sexy all the time to attract men all the time, because all you're doing is degrading yourself and attracting bad men, the wrong kind of men, the men that'll use you and then won't take care of the babies if they get you pregnant, and they'll trade you in for a better model as soon as they're bored with you. They're not going to marry you. You know, they're gonna use and abuse you, and they're gonna toss you aside. And then when they want to get married, they're gonna marry someone who's conservative, who's modest, who's classy, who's mature, who has dignity, decency, ethics, morals. You know, because that's wife material. So if they just want to play or whatever, they're gonna go for the cheapest, quickest, easiest girl. But if they really are a man of God, they're not going to do that. They're not going to play. They're going to wait for marriage. And they're going to want a woman who's beautiful, but beautiful inside and out, and who has a godly beauty about her. And they're going to go for the one who wears a veil and takes herself seriously and carries herself like the Blessed Mother, who values purity and dignity and all that. You know what I'm saying? So, women, you could take some pointers. I'm telling you, as a guy, you think that we want, I hate to use the word, easy bimbos, immoral women, easy women, women who show their cleavage, women who are always, but really, yeah, okay, of course that's attractive, but if we really had our way, our choice, that we want the whole package. We want that for our eyes only, not for everybody else to see. We want our wife to have all that. That's great, but it's not the most important thing. And we want that, but we don't want every other guy looking at it. So, the Muslim guys, I'm not saying this is extreme, so I would never suggest this, but the Muslim women, a lot of them are so beautiful, but you only see their eyes, and that's only because it's necessary. Some of them even cover their eyes, okay? Now that's ridiculous, but they have something there, Why do like nuns cover every part of them except for their face. And there's some beautiful nuns, but you would never really know it other than their face, because they're keeping themselves just for God. They're brides of Christ. So, and the Blessed Virgin Mother kept herself, she always wore a pretty veil, and she kept herself with loose-fitting clothes. I'm sure she was a perfect woman, if you know what I mean, but that was for God's eyes only, and for Saint Joseph's eyes, and it wasn't about that with her. It wasn't about vanity. It was about, she knew what she had. It's modesty, it's decency, dignity, holiness. And I gotta tell you, the older I get, holiness is attractive. When I look for a girl to marry, yes, I hope she's pretty and attractive and all that. Yeah, of course I gotta be attracted to her, but I want holiness. I want modesty. I don't want her, if she's already showing everybody everything she's got now, and she walks into church showing cleavage and all that other stuff, that's not wife material. That's not going to be somebody who's going to want to love me for all the right reasons, who's going to love and fear God, who's going to be a good mother, example to her children, who's going to be a great wife. That shows someone who doesn't have priorities. Their priorities are all messed up. So that's why Christians should always date Christians, because at least you got, it's just not going to work if you're not evenly yoked. So yes, of course men love beautiful women, but we don't want every other guy in the world seeing what our woman's got, especially if we're going to marry you, okay? Now, everybody's got a past. That's fine. I have a past. But once you follow Christ, you need to start walking like you're a born-again virgin. You need to put all that aside. You will not touch anybody ever again until you marry. You will be a virgin. You will be holy. You will be pure. This is for guys as well. And you're going to start becoming more modest, more conservative, especially you ladies out there. Go for men who respect that. Because if a guy's not going to respect you or want you because you're conservative and modest and classy, because you have dignity and self-worth, then that's not the right kind of guy. You wait for the one who doesn't mind you being all covered up. Okay? Who wants you, who prefers it that way. Go for a guy who thinks it's, I hate to use the word sexy, but very attractive holiness, that your holiness is attractive, that wearing a veil in church is attractive. I think it's so classy. I mean, honestly, I really think, and maybe I'm wrong here, but I think that one reason why there's a lot of gay people in the world now, people are so confused what gender they are and all that, is because women have started to be too much like men in many ways, in the way they dress, act, everything, and the men are becoming too effeminate. And second of all, women no longer respect themselves or their bodies. They're getting all tattooed up, pierced up. They're having abortions. They're showing everybody everything at an early age. My daughter is not going to be walking around in a string bikini at 13 years old. I don't even want to see that at 20. You know, so I mean, but this is what happens, you know, and we're doing it wrong. I like the women of like the 20s and 30s and 40s, like the Victorian era. There was something so beautiful and attractive. Your face should be selling you, you know? And I think pretty clothes and modesty goes a long way. At least for me. Because, of course, as a guy, if I just go and abase myself to my lowest primal, you know, disorder, then yeah, of course I'm going to want to look at a girl that looks like she came out of Playboy magazine. Of course, what guy? I'm not going to lie to you, but it's not right. Okay? It's not right, and it's not necessary, and as much as, it's like buying a car, okay? When you're buying a car, sometimes you're going to see a beautiful, shiny sports car, or a Corvette, or a Mercedes, or a Lamborghini, and of course, most people are going to be drawn to that, but realistically, you can't afford the insurance, the taxes, the repairs, all that. It's just not realistic. It's like, okay, you get it, and now you regret it. Now you're paying a lot of money, and the thing is useless in the snow. It's useless for a family. You can't put groceries in it. You can't do nothing with it except for, look at me, I'm a hot shot. It's better to go for the family minivan if that's the case, you know? Priorities. Get better gas mileage, cheaper all around, safer in an accident, fits more, you can do more with it. So when you're looking for someone to marry or you're looking for someone to date, don't automatically look at the ones who look like the Ferrari, okay? Because you're going to regret it. Because if they're going that out of their way, and that means that they're shallow and that their only worth is skin deep, and they think that they have to do that to attract someone, to be respected or wanted. Honey, if you got nothing else to offer besides that, because that's going to fade one day, then I don't want you, because what good is it? And that means that you've probably already been around the block a couple times, and I don't like using the village bicycle, if you know what I mean. So no good guy is going to want that. And likewise, just because a guy's walking around looking like an Abercrombie model, he's not going to look like that forever. And I'm telling you as a guy, I used to be one of them. Shallow, immoral, playboy, not boyfriend or wife or husband material, not someone you want to marry. Trust me. He's got a lot of growing up to do. His priorities are all wrong. If he's going to the gym 7 days a week, look at me, he's more into himself than into God or into you. And he's not looking for just one girl. He's going to never be satisfied. He's going to want as much attention as he can get, because that's why he does it. So pay attention to that. I'm being honest. Some guys are going to be really upset because I'm revealing secrets here, but I think women have a right to know. Do not just go after the guy because he's good looking or because he's got money. That's another no-no. You're going to be looking for a world of hurt should you get pregnant or get married to that guy. You need to find someone has his priorities right. A God-loving and fearing man, for starters. And a man who might not have a lot of money, but he'll give his life for you. A man, a shirt off his back. That's better than someone who has so much money he doesn't even respect you. He'll be throwing money at you and say, here, get out of my set. Go buy something. Trust me. You want to be happy, then you need to be realistic, okay? Not all that glistens is gold. Most of the time it's tinfoil or fool's gold, I'm telling you. And it's going to fade. And again, I'm not saying it's great if you can find someone who's got everything, good looks and everything. Who doesn't want someone who's good looking? Of course. But that's just the sexual attraction part. What about later on? Think about it. You're stuck with this person if you marry them. You want to be happy all around. And when their looks fade, if you can't be with them when their looks fade, then what have you got? or if he's going to cheat on you because, he knows he can have whatever he wants, or knows what she can have. Think about it. Do not think like the world does when it comes to dating and marriage, because you are going to be very sorry. There's a reason why God gave us a blueprint, an example, through Jesus and Mary, through Joseph and Mary, through Adam and Eve. We keep departing from the path. God set everything. He set a foundation. It was good. It worked. And all we do is look for ways around it. And then you wonder why the world is so unhappy and everything's all disordered. And now we have little boys who don't know what restroom to use. And they don't know if they're a boy or a girl. If my son, I'm sorry, but if my son tells me, Daddy, I don't know if I'm a boy or a girl, I'm going to slap him upside the head and be like, what do you have between your legs? There's your answer, Sherlock. Now, can we move on? Honestly. Now, maybe you don't feel like a man, but how do you even know that? Think about this. How do you know you feel like a woman, even though you're in a man's body, when you've never been a woman? You don't know, I feel like a woman. I'm not a man. I'm a woman in a man's body. Really? So you know what a woman really feels like? Because you don't even have a woman's parts. So don't tell me you know what it's like to be a woman. Any normal, psychologically normal woman would say, no, honey, you don't know what you're talking about. And vice versa. I feel like a man. Really? You don't know what it's like to have these parts. And until you do, and even if you had an operation, it's never going to be real. You'll never know. These stupid ideas that you can change your sex with an operation, you're just becoming a fake somebody. You're never going to have the real anatomy. It's never going to function the same. You're never really going to know what it's like to be a man. So don't bother, I'm telling you, because you're wasting your time and money, and you're going to go to hell for no reason, and it's stupid. You need to learn to be happy with the skin you're in, because there's no changing. You are who you are. Even if you don't believe in God, it's too late. You are what you are. So why don't we spend less time on trying to be somebody, stop trying to be somebody we're not, and just figure out who we really are and be the best person we can be in our own skin. Okay? Because, this whole idea of, and this makes no sense. The world's always telling you, be you, be special, be different, stand out, get tattoos because, you want to be different. You want to, color your hair blue because you want to make sure you're unique. You already are unique. There's nobody else in the world who has the same fingerprints as you, the same exact DNA patterns as you. You are one of a kind. Just like snowflakes. And don't tell me that's impossible, because every scientist can tell you that every single snowflake under a microscope is not identical. There's not one that is exactly identical. Not one. And there's trillions of snowflakes in a snowstorm. Not one is identical, and each one is beautifully and uniquely made. It's too bad we can't see them all with the human eye without a microscope. It is an amazing phenomenon. And you and I, we may look like other people, but we are not. And when you're gone, you'll never be replaced. So why do you have to go the extra mile to pierce and tattoo or change your gender or your hair color or whatever to be unique? You already are. And this is the problem when people don't know God, because they do not understand how special and unique and one of a kind and important they are. And if they only knew that they were created for a reason and a purpose that only they can fulfill down here, they would be happy with the skin they're in. But we're taught that God doesn't exist and that you can be whatever you want. And now it's like, it doesn't matter if you're not, you could be a woman or a man, or now let's just get rid of gender altogether. Come on. This is just, do you understand it ends in a cliff? Like, it just drops off eventually. You can't keep this going for much longer. It's impossible for mankind to exist and stay alive much longer on this planet if you keep going further and further away from the truth and reality. We're not even talking reality anymore. We're telling little boys they're girls and little girls they're boys, and all this, that's not even reality. It's sick. It's not even realistic. It goes against even science and nature, let alone against God. So what are we doing? I don't know. I don't know what happens where mankind got this disordered, this far off path. I mean, I understand same-sex attraction. Fine. But to go to the extreme and then start having rainbow colored hair and all kinds of crazy stuff, and now people are sleeping with animals and marrying them and marrying robots, and it just never ends. Human beings are off the chart insane. Absolutely insane. And then you call Christians crazy for wanting to stick with what always was true and was working. We're crazy. Okay, I love when the person with rainbow hair and tattoos and who's dressing in drag comes up to me and tells me, "Shut up, you crazy Bible banging, moron. You're stupid. You don't know what you're talking about." Honey, have you looked in the mirror? What? I don't even know what you are, but I know you used to be human. I'm crazy? You don't even look like a human anymore. You don't even know if you're a man or a woman, and you don't seem to care. I mean, you're the one that needs the meds. So yeah, I'm gonna go back to tradition, and I'm gonna keep encouraging women. I'm encouraging everybody at this point. Get away from the mainstream. It's too far gone. Pray for them. Try to get them to Christ, but please do not listen to their stupid ideologies. They don't even make sense. I bet you animals are looking at the human race and they're kind of like, what is that? Is that even a human? What is that, an alien? What is that? Like, they don't even know what it is. It's sick. And I am getting really sick and tired now. Sick and tired when I go into a public place and I don't know how to address somebody because I cannot tell if they're a boy or a girl or a man or a woman anymore. It really bothers me. I don't know what to call them. If I call them the wrong thing, I can get in trouble. They get mad. And I'm like, it's not my fault. Like, for example, I went to a gas station not too long ago, and I thought it was a 16-year-old boy. He looked just like a boy. He had a mustache and a good-looking kid, too. It was a girl. Baggy pants, work boots, wife beater, tank top, flat-chested, a little bit it looked like some kind of hair wanted to grow here. Maybe they were in some kind of trance. I don't know. Voice, everything looked like a guy. I mean, I was actually looking, I'm like, wow, I wish I looked that good. I mean, if I looked like him, I could get any girl I want. And I'm like, excuse me, sir. And she, don't call me sir, I'm a woman. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. And so I had to say, I'm like, listen, at risk of being in a lot of trouble here and politically incorrect, I'm sorry, but why do you look like that? I honestly could not tell. I cannot tell that you're a woman at all. Are you gay? Are you yeah, I'm a lesbian. Oh, okay. So, all right, well, okay. But I can't tell you're a woman, so why would you get offended? You dress like that and then get mad at me for calling you a sir. Well, some of us don't mind being called sirs, but I'm a woman. Well, I can't tell. You don't look at all. You have a faded hair. What is that? Come on. And you have no right to get mad at me. I can't tell with that. Women don't dress like that. Shave their head like that. And come on. She was wearing all men's clothes. Seriously, everything. There was nothing feminine about this thing. Her. She. I don't even know what to call it. It confuses me. And then, when you see a woman it's really guy, but it really looks like a gorgeous woman until it's like, oh, hello, ma'am. Hey. Oh, you're a guy? No, I'm a woman. Do you still have a penis? Yeah. Well, then you're a guy. No, I identify. It's like, okay, you know what? Conversation's over. Just give me the damn cash out of the register, please. I gotta get going. Like, this is, it's sick. It's sick. And now we have this whole where we don't identify as anything. And then you got guys. I've seen men walking around with stiletto high heels. They're dressed like construction workers with high heels on. I've seen guys wearing from the waist up, from the head to the waist, shirt and tie, but then from the waist down, a mini skirt with high heels and stockings. I cannot. You didn't know whether you wanted to be a male or woman today, so you kind of did both. What is that? It's ugly. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to. Jesus says not to judge, but that's ugly. That's crazy. It's stupid. what are you looking to date? Like, do you want a guy or a girl or what? I don't even know what to say. Like you want equality, but how can there be equality when you're on a totally different spectrum? You're not one or the other. You don't even know what you are. Like, you're all over the place. What equality? There's no way you can be equal when it's male and female normally, and now you're both, and then they get mad because they can't find someone to marry or they can't find someone to date. Nobody finds them attractive. Well, what person in their right minds would want something like that? That's not attractive to a normal human being. I mean, that's not attractive. Look, this is another thing. Gay men, right? If you're gay and you're attracted to other men, then you would think you'd want men who look like men. So why do they go and dress like women and they expect to get a boyfriend in a gay bar? Because the guys are there looking for other dudes, not women. Otherwise, they'd be straight. So why would you dress up and act like a woman and expect to get a boyfriend? And if you think you're going to get a straight guy, if he tells you he's straight and he knows you're a tranny and he's dating you, he's not straight. He's screwed up in the head, but that's not straight. So I don't know. I've seen it all in my life, and I tried to understand it, but it gets to a point where it doesn't make sense at all. It is mental. It is beyond it's mental illness or it's insanity. It is literally insanity. Like, I get it if you're attracted to the same sex, fine, but everything else that comes with that whole colors of the rainbow garbage, anything goes attitude, that's worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. I mean, if God punished Sodom and Gomorrah for homosexuality, what do you think he's going to do now when this is way beyond that? This includes everything in this disordered spectrum. This is like hell on earth. It's madness. It's people sleeping with animals and people and robots and marrying their car and marrying whatever they want. And it's gotten so... Now do you see why he burned Sodom and Gomorrah? So that garbage would not spread throughout mankind, but it did. And now it's gotten worse than that. Like Jesus said, in the end times, it would be worse than the days of Noah, worse than the days of Sodom and Gomorrah. And you saw what God did to Sodom and Gomorrah. He burned them with an asteroid or whatever, burned them. Well, now the entire world is one giant Sodom and Gomorrah. It's worse because now we don't just have homosexuality. We've got everything that you can every disordered, disgusting thing that a human being can imagine. It's allowed now. It's going. You want to sleep with your cat, or you can marry your cat now. I mean, it's not even worth talking about, honestly. I don't know where I got this. Please, women, for the love of God, for the sake of decency, so we can have something normal left in this world. Would women please, at least you straight women and straight men, can you please act like straight women? Can you please carry yourselves? Can you please have a little class and dignity? Can we please get away from this madness, please, and return to a family-friendly, normal society somehow? Can you please start wearing normal, modest clothing that's classy instead of skin-tight yoga pants and stuff all the time? Because most of you don't even have the right body for that, and it really looks appalling, honestly. It's disgusting to most men. It really is. And I know I'm fat myself, but trust me, that's not attractive. And for most normal good guy doesn't want to already see everything before his wedding night, okay? Just to let you know, we want class and dignity and modesty. That is going to get you a good guy at least. Otherwise, can look like trash, you're going to attract trash. Okay? You want to soar with the eagles? Then you need to hang out with the eagles. You need to be an eagle. You want to stay on the ground picking out of your poop like a bunch of chickens who can't fly? Well, then stay down there. Be a bunch of chickens. I don't know what to tell you, but I'm looking for an eagle. And men, same thing. Can you please act like men? Can you please dress like men? Can we please I want to be able to know what I'm looking at and talking to. I don't want to have to wonder what you are or what sex you are or what you decide you want to be called today, if anything at all. I mean, some people are identifying with a tree. Oh, I'm not a human, I'm a tree. That's how I identify. Well, I identify as a toaster today, okay? Come on. Uh, this is what happens when you disobey God. This is what happens when you break the order of things. This is called disorder. And it never ends. So it's diabolical. And so for you women who dress like women in church, thank you. For you men who dress dignified, thank you. For you men who act like men and you women who act like women, thank you. Please continue to do it, especially in the house of God. And I'm not saying, I just think I'm seeing a lot more women dressing really nice again for church. Thank you. Don't be showing up in sweatpants and yoga pants or whatever and not having any kind of class. Because that's not attractive if you are hoping to find a good guy. I just hate to tell you that. And if you think being more revealing and skin tight is going to help you nab a guy, no. That's like fishing. Fish know the difference between a real worm and a rubber worm that's plastic and multicolored. Okay? If it doesn't look edible, it's not going to want it. Okay? It doesn't look normal or relatable. So, I'm just telling you now, there's all kinds of people out in the world now. God knows that. And they're all disordered, most of them. And so who knows what they're going to want or be attracted to each their own. But for me, I would rather you go back to like the Victorian age. I love those beautiful dresses. I love the modesty. I loved when women were very effeminate. I don't like prissy prima donnas who won't do anything because, oh my God, I don't want to break a nail. Oh my God, my makeup. That I don't like. I want a beautiful woman who will also throw down if she has to, or go hunting with me if we had to, or fishing and doesn't mind getting dirty, but still can rock the stilettos and the skirts and, the feminine. Be pretty. And men, I don't think there's anything more distasteful and unattractive and annoying than a guy who acts like a girl. It's like, oh my God, ew. What is that? You just, I used to want to hit people like you. But now I'm a Christian, so I'm like, I'm trying to love and embrace everybody and meet everybody where they're at. And so is God. God is getting to his last nerve. He really is with mankind. He's ready. He's ready to, that's it. And I'm done. But he is still willing to meet you where you're at. So if you are all disordered and effeminate and gay and all messed up and whatever, don't know if you're a male or female, whatever, come to Jesus and he will meet you where you're at and he will help you. But you got to come to him, and then you got to be willing to do as he says and change. And I know the world is hard and all messed up now, and I feel bad for these younger generations who grew up in a worse, more disordered, ungodly society than even I did, and it was bad when I was growing up. But let me tell you, these poor kids, if I were to have kids, they're going to grow up in such a disordered, disgusting, hellbound world. It's going to be so hard to teach them the right way and keep them safe from all this. And so it's going to be a chore, but we have to do it. We have to teach them that Bible. We need to show them, keep them away from this. Like, if I have a family, I think I'm going to move to the woods and in like Vermont or Maine and keep them away from society as much as I can. We'll live like the Amish because I don't want my wife and kids having to be exposed to this insanity and filth. And, especially my kids, because I don't want them growing up thinking that stuff's okay and that this is normal. I want them to know what it's like to have a mother and a father and to have God in their life and to have integrity and morals and just be conservative, tradition, I'm in that generation where I could have easily gone the way of the world. And I was for a long time. But when I made the choice to say yes to the Lord, I couldn't continue down that worldly path to this disorder and still go to heaven and be with Christ. So I had to make a decision. And so I had to put the world behind me and start walking the narrow road with Jesus. And I'm glad I did. I'm more of a man now at 42 than I ever was in my life. You know, I used to look at my dad and be like, wow, you know what? I could never measure up to that man. I wish I could. I wish I was like him. I'm so disappointing to him. But now I look at myself and I resemble him more and more with age, and I'm more and more like him, where I'm becoming wise, and, you know, I'll defend myself if I have to, but I don't want to, and you don't want to get me to that point. But I'm more docile, meek, and humble, and just more loving and patient and kind than I ever was. When I was 22, I would pop you in the face real fast. I had a bad temper. I would lose my temper real fast. It was rage. Like I had no control over my emotions, my flesh. It was crazy. And now, you know, I'm mature. I'm 42 years old. I'm still got a long way to go, but I've become a lot more mature of a man, and I'm growing into my manhood. But I'll tell you, I was on the road to not knowing real manhood in the world. But then when I followed Christ and I learned what he wants and what men should be in Christ, it was a totally opposite direction than what the world's putting out now. The world is stamping out cookie cutter men that are very effeminate, and, you know, it's all about being I don't know, GQ model or something. But real men, you know, they don't have to be over, you know, ooh, rah, rah, all the time, like my, you know, some army, whatever, jarhead. But you gotta have a happy medium, a balance, you know? And if you want to be a real man, you need to know Jesus, and you need to know what kind of man he was and what he expects. There is your example. That's what you want to strive to be like. You know? Not a doormat, but very wise and loving and meek and humble and kind, but tough when you have to be. But you don't need to overdo it. And women, you need to look like the Blessed Mother. A lot of women today don't want to be effeminate. They see it as a sign of weakness. But you're losing the beauty of being a female. You're losing the point of being a woman when you get rid of your femininity. Your femininity is what makes you a woman, and it's an amazing, beautiful thing that men should not be trying to recreate in themselves and can't. And so why are you trying to be like men, and why are men trying to be like women? We need men to be men and women to be like women, you know? And that's it. Because both are beautiful in their own way and necessary, and it's just the way it's supposed to be. Even in nature, animals, there's male and female, you know? I don't see gay ducks walking around and, you know, all that other disorder. There's no disorder in nature. Humans are doing this. And I understand, like I said, you might have same-sex attraction, okay, but you don't have to stay that way unless you want to, and you don't have to make your whole life center around it. If every person, whether straight or gay, rich or poor, sick or healthy, would stop being self-centered and center their life around Christ, the rock, the cornerstone, which the builders or society rejects, then everything would fall into place the way it needs to go. And it wouldn't matter what your problems are, whether you're gay or straight or whatever. All that would matter is Christ, and he would help you. You would start living the way he commands you to live, and it doesn't matter. That's equality. If every single person truly lived a Christian life and obeyed Christ's commandments and laws, then there would be equality for all. Because we'd all be serving the one true God and the same God, and we'd all be obeying the same commandments, the same law. So therefore, it would be fair, just, and equal for all. But people want to go and they want to get rid of God and they want to do their own thing, and all that does is cause confusion and chaos and division. Everything the devil does. He comes to kill, steal, and destroy. And he does that through division and conquering. He divides and conquers by causing and instilling confusion and chaos and deceit and lies. And by that, he weakens people, and then he divides them, and then he conquers them, and then he kills, steals, and destroys. And that is how society, a godless, unchristian society, lives and thinks and acts today. They kill, steal, and destroy. They're confused, they lie, they even deceive themselves. They're disordered, they distort everything. They cause nothing but division, segregation, and then they try to conquer. And then they go and they cry, we want equality, we want equality. You know? Well, you segregate yourselves by saying, we're gay and you're straight and we're white and you're black and, you're Protestant and you're Catholic and all. That's the devil. That's what the devil and his children do. Like father, like son. But followers of Christ, children of Christ, the true God, we don't do that. We are unity, equality, justice, love for all. We're all on the same page. It's everybody who's outside of Christ who are going in 50 million different directions in chaos, confusion, disorder. I'm telling the truth. Now, maybe you're so ungodly, so far from Christ, and you don't know the Bible, and you don't have Christ in your life, so you're really blinded spiritually, and so you can't really understand what I'm saying, and I'm sorry for you if that's how it is. That's really sad. That's a real dangerous, bad place to be, where you know so little about Jesus, so little about the Bible, you are so far from Him, from salvation, that you think that what you are doing is normal. And you say, well, everybody's doing it, the majority does it. You don't know the truth that would set you free from that. You're the majority, yeah, okay, but the majority is always wrong. You should always go for the underdog, and that's us Christians. You should always take the path less traveled, and that's what we Christians do. It's called the road to the cross. If everybody's doing it, it ain't right. If the Christians are doing it, we are few compared to the majority. We have it right. Again, if you can't debate me on this, because if you really know what the Bible says, and you really know God, and you know what He commands, then you'll know I'm telling you the truth, and that it makes perfect sense, and it is the solution to a lot of society or worldly problems. But if you do not want to obey God, you don't want to know Him, you don't want to obey Him, you don't want to become a Christian, then you're never going to get it. And even if you know we're right, and you do, you know Christians are right, you know it. You just don't want us to be right. You just don't want to know the truth. You don't want to change. Well, then that's your choice. As for me and my household, we Christians say, we shall serve the Lord. Have a good night. And women, again, please wear your veils at Mass. It looks so beautiful, so classy. It honors our Blessed Mother, and it really makes God happy. And you're going to attract better quality of men into your life, and your husbands must appreciate it, I'm sure. And so modesty, classiness, femininity, okay? Morality, integrity, self-worth. These things are attractive. This is what a holy woman has going on. This is what holiness is, and purity. Holiness and purity, being conservative, being modest, that is very attractive, especially to a good, godly man. A husband material, father material. Or you can just continue acting and dressing like the rest of the world, and you're just going to get a worldly guy who's going to treat you like a material object, use you only for one thing, never respect you, because any guy who truly respects you would tell you to put some clothes on, cover up, don't do that, don't act whorish. But they don't love and respect you. They just want to take you for a ride. You know, they're debased. Their mind is down here, if you know what I mean. They're not thinking with this mind. They don't use this head. And so hey, if that's the kind of guy you want, I mean, some of you women, and some of you are on my Facebook page. Ooh, I like the bad boys, my ride or die. Ooh, yeah. I like those jail guys who are always in and out of jail, who cheat on me and disrespect me, and, you know, who have 5 baby mamas, and, that's the kind of guy. Oh, yeah, I like that. Yeah, rap. He listens to rap music. He has his pants sagging down. Oh, yeah, he's hardcore. Yeah, that's so attractive. That's what I want. And then they complain when they get cheated on or beat up, or the guy's in prison or dead from an overdose. Why do you go for filth? Why? I don't care how good looking he is. Why do you go for guys you know sleeps around, probably has AIDS, drug addicted, alcohol addicted, doesn't respect or love himself? How is he going to love and respect you? Has 3 different kids with 3 different women, in and out of prison, bum, doesn't hold a job. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's your ride or die? Well, then you're 2 peas in a pod and you deserve each other. That means you're a scumbag, too. God forgive me. But seriously, you want to date scum? And that's what they are. Hellbound scum until they repent and start living right and have Jesus in their life. You know, then that must mean that if you like that, if that's what you're attracted to, then that says a lot about you. And don't complain then. And some of you are very pretty, and some of you have kids because you've slept with guys like that who left you, having to take care of the kids by yourself. That's your fault. You're selling yourself short. You should grow up and be classy. Okay? Have some self-worth, some integrity. Start acting like a good, godly woman, and you'll attract a good, godly man who's going to love you very much, who's going to treat you good and your kids good, who's going to be there for you. That's a ride or die. Who'll give his life for you, who will never cheat on you or abuse you, who will marry you and stay married to you till the day he dies, okay? And, that's what you're looking for, but you don't want. I mean, that's basically describing myself. And you don't want this. No, you want some thug. Okay, well, then don't complain. But you're selling yourself short. You're going to end up in hell with him. And this whole thing is a disaster waiting to happen. And so I'm bad. I'm good at being bad. Yeah, then keep going. Get going with your bad self then. But I'm telling you, wake up. And if this is such a woke culture, wake up. Stop being stupid. Start carrying yourself with class, dignity, and integrity, and attract other people of class, dignity, and integrity, starting with God-fearing, loving men and women, okay? Because I'm telling you right now, if their relationship with Christ is weak, what makes you think their relationship with you is going to be strong? If they don't love and fear God, they are not going to love and respect you. I'm just telling you the truth. So, and church-going women, do not go seeking worldly men. And church-going men, do not go seeking those appealing church-going women. You're going to be regretting it. You are supposed to date someone and be evenly yoked so you lead each other to heaven. Otherwise, be single the rest of your life, be chaste and holy, and set yourself apart just for God. Go be a priest or a nun or something, but because it'd be better that you remain chaste and holy and single your whole life than end up in hell with the wrong person, or waste your life and never make it to heaven. I mean, even if you do make it to heaven, you're not going to want to be stuck with a naggy wife or in a bad relationship for the rest of your life. You don't want to have to end up dealing with divorce. Listen, you keep playing by the world's game rules and you're just going to be hurting all the time. You start playing by God's rules and you're going to save yourself a lot of stress and drama and trouble and hurt. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a Christian, right? We don't know anything. Even though we know God, who is the author and finisher of salvation, who is the seat of all wisdom, who is the Alpha, the Omega, the beginning and the end, the creator of all things seen and unseen. I think he knows what he's talking about. God loves you.